Hello everyone, welcome to the American Jedi channel. Today I'm going to be talking about chronographs. What are they? How do you use them? What kind of maintenance you should do, possibly, and practical uses. So let's get right into it. So a chronograph is just a fancy word for stopwatch. In the watch world, it is known as a complication. And this watch has the stopwatch feature. It's an Omega Speedmaster Professional, also known as a moon watch. And a little known fact about this is that this watch helped save the crew of Apollo 13. It is also the first watch worn on the moon, known as the moon watch. Buzz Aldrin wore it on the moon. Neil Armstrong had one too, but he left his in the Eagle lunar module. So anyways, getting back into it. It is basically a fancy word for stopwatch, and you can see on this particular chronograph, it's got a 12-hour. You can run it for up to 12 hours, and it has a 30-minute marker here. So you can see for every 30 minutes it runs, this will go about halfway between the marks. You can see that it's at almost 1 right now, because once it reaches that 30, it'll be 1 hour. So you can see that it's going to be right there, that halfway in between the 12 and the 2 mark, actually. So anyways, how to use it. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to start and stop it. So we'll stop. You can see I stopped it. Start again, and you can stop it again. So this is your start and stop button here. This button is your reset button. So once you stop it, you can reset it, and then this will flip back to the top. I don't want to do that now because I've been running my chronograph for about an hour now, and I plan on running it through the night, through the 12-hour mark in the morning, because I read online that a good maintenance procedure to do when you get a new chronograph is to run it for a while, like 12 hours or so. It's not going to hurt it. That goes into another question that I had about chronographs is, can you run this constantly while you're wearing it? And the answer is yes. You're not going to hurt anything. However, you're going to drain your springs, right, in the watch. So like this watch has a 50-hour power reserve. Not sure how long it'll last if I keep the stopwatch going, the chronograph going. I'm sure it'll last a day, maybe. If it's got a 50-hour power reserve, maybe it'll last half that. So I don't know. But going on, so I read that online about the maintenance, just about running it. And basically they're saying that it helps distribute the lubricants in the complication. So that I thought that was a pretty good, maybe self-preventative maintenance idea to go ahead and run it. I haven't seen anything on YouTube about doing that, or even starting, stopping, and starting again, because that was a question I had, if it would hurt the watch if I was supposed to reset it every time after I stopped it. And the answer is no. One thing that you do want to be careful of is that you want to stop it before resetting it every time. There are some complications out there that you can reset it while it's running, but most watches out there, if you try and hit it reset while this is running, you're going to damage the complication, or you risk damaging the complication. So I'm not sure if this watch has I think it's called a flywheel or flyback wheel. Not sure if this watch has it. I didn't see anything in the manual, so I'm guessing it does not. But, hey. And as far as practical uses, you want to think about, you think about a stopwatch, you're like, okay, I can time things, big deal, right? Yeah, that's true. You can time, how long you're sitting in traffic or the doctor's office, or how long your food's taking to get to your table. Yeah, that's fine. You can do that on your phone too. What I do like about this, however, and how I use the chronograph feature, is whenever I have an idea, right? Whenever I have an idea that comes in my head, and if I'm in the middle of doing something and I'm busy, what I'll go ahead and do, if I can't write it down, or, if I just don't want to, entertain the thought anymore because I'm doing other things, I'll start the chronograph. And then later on down during the day, when I realize my chronograph is running, because I usually don't run it. Some people like to run their chronographs all the time, and that's cool. But it doesn't really bother me. And plus, the more you run your chronograph, the more wear and tear you're putting on your watch. So that might lead to increased maintenance intervals or something else. It's not gonna, it's like running your car. Every time you drive it, you're putting wear and tear on it, you know, and the more wear and tear on it, the more maintenance you're gonna need, and vice versa. And, you know, it won't last as long, right, as a car that just pretty much sits there. Or, you know, once, you know, someone drives the crap out of their car for 100,000 miles, if they're just driving it nonstop, it's gonna have a lot more wear and tear and eventually fail. So that's just, you know, I don't know if watches, especially Omegas, I know that they last lifetimes, so, and generations. So that's, you know, one nice thing about buying you know, a nice, super nice watch. You don't have to spend this type of money on a watch to get a nice watch, though. You know, there's tons of nice watches out there, you know, $100, $200, $300, $400, $500, whatever. That are plenty nice and will do the job. So Citizen is another brand that I really like, and Tissot. My first nice watch was a Tissot. It was like $500. But anyways, getting off track. That's what I like to use it for. I like to, when I see my chronograph running, again, that reminds me that, hey, you had an idea, and then I can remember in my head, oh yeah, I had this idea of doing XYZ. And then I stop and reset it, and, you know, and then I finish what I was thinking about, and I do what I need to do. So I think that's about it on the chronograph features. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I can definitely answer some stuff. I'm not an expert, but I can definitely help you out there. And thank you for watching. I hope this video was informative and helpful for you. Take care and stay safe.